And what better way to start than with the man who dared enter what Jack Hamilton described as Alcatraz, the office of the VFL's Chief Commissioner. Ross Oakley wasn't the boss when last season ended, but after one off-season in the chair, he knows well the difficulty of his job. Ross, welcome.
Thank you.
First match, less than 24 hours away now, still no sponsor. Difficult job.
Yes, it has been very difficult. I think we may well be able to announce something tomorrow, Tim.
I see.
Ross, another subject. I think probably more thought than anything about the Brisbane Bears is how they'll succeed. Maybe a two-pronged question. Firstly, if you had your time again, would you relocate a team there? Number two, I guess, why haven't they had a bit more support, particularly with things like transfer fees?
Well, I suppose the ideal situation would have been that we could have had a relocation to Brisbane, but the Commission's not in a position to actually relocate a team.
Couldn't you have waited?
Waited and, you mean, introduce the side into Brisbane in future years? Well, I suppose we could have, but who was to guarantee that there'd be a team to transfer next year?
Well, in your Commission's report, you're pretty confident that a couple of clubs are going to go down the chute.
Well, the Commission certainly has said that there is that risk, and there still is that risk. There is a tremendous risk of a club going bankrupt, but we're working very hard at the moment to ensure that that doesn't happen.
Ross, just to get away from that onto television, it's terrific that Channel 2 has taken over the rights here in Victoria. Terrific for them. Whether it's terrific at the game, well, only we, you know, and the effort they put on will prove that point. But I'm really worried about the fact that there's going to be, or from what I understand, there's not going to be any football, VFL football, into New South Wales and Queensland to help the promotional officers of the new clubs there, the Swans and the Bears, and help the game generally. Is that so? And if it is it a real worry?
It's not a worry because there will be football into New South Wales and to Queensland. Very quickly, there was an announcement yesterday that the Saturday games, Match of the Day, will be live into New South Wales on SBS. And your station, the ABC, will in fact be running a replay on Saturday night, I think. There'll also be a number of regional stations running programs as well in the Griffith area. So they'll be covering that very strong Australian rules area in New South Wales. And there are a number of other regional stations that are still being tied up at the moment. In Queensland, there's going to be quite a bit of football. The Saturday game will go live. The Friday night game, I think, is going in delayed. And the Sunday game is going in there as well. And even when the Brisbane Bears are, in fact, playing at Carrara on the Gold Coast, the game will go live to Brisbane.
Ross, with those new football coverages in those states, does the VFL feel there's a great, so I suppose, justification now, looking in hindsight, that the competition is going national? Because with all the changes in television, it seems the national networking is what all the television stations want to do.
Well, it's been very difficult, of course, this year to get into bed with the so-called national network.
But the point being, they're looking for national events to cover.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, Lee, and I suppose one of the weaknesses for the VFL is that we're not seen to be yet strong enough in the Sydney market to, in fact, give us that national enthusiasm for the game. But we're working on that, and we'll certainly be doing a lot of work this year on that. But with everything that's happened, we've been delighted with what we've finished with, and particularly the ABC's involvement.
It's been messy, though, with stations all around Australia from various networks involved in threading up to cover the VFL. Is that satisfactory, and is it something that you feel is desirable?
Not necessarily. I'm delighted with the way it's come together, Tim. Yes, it's I suppose it's been a bit messy, but we really had no other option. In fact, the option that we had before Christmas last year was to go with that other network that had football for 3 years at what we thought was not a sufficient contract price. Now, in hindsight, of course, we made a decision at the time not to do that and to go Broadcom, which opened up the options for us and allowed us to negotiate the contracts in each individual state rather than a national contract. Now, in hindsight, if we'd been left 2 weeks ago with Channel 7 wanting to get out of their contract, we would have had to renegotiate all the contracts right round Australia, which would have been impossible to do before the start of the season.
Ross, in hindsight, would you feel that you've given Broadcom a far too generous contract? They look as if they've broken even at least this year. It's 6 years. They're going to make a lot of money, aren't they?
They're going to lose a lot of money this year, Doug.
Not according to their managing director.
Well, I'm not too sure about that. The deal is very simple. We got $1.3 million up front, and we will get the first $3.5 million of any revenues gained by Broadcom in their negotiations. Now, recognising the fact that the contract that was offered to us by Channel 7 was this year only $3 million, and it was only going to escalate CPI for the next 3 years, we're going to get 1.3 plus the first 3.5 million. Then anything that Broadcom negotiates after that, we will split down the middle. So in fact, Broadcom have got to gross net, I beg your pardon, after costs, have got to net $4.8 million before they even start to participate.
Back to the sponsorship issue, why is it that, I suppose, the most successful and popular domestic sporting competition in the country hasn't got a sponsor 24 hours before kick-off?
Well, there are a lot of reasons for that. Just very quickly, the America's Cup this year pulled something like $40 million out of the sponsorship market, and there are a few companies hurting as a result of that because they backed the loser. We've also got the two breweries pulling out, and I've been through that in the press as to the reasons for them pulling out. They've been spending more and more money in the Australian market and getting less and less sales. They believe that their future is overseas, so their money is going overseas. Apart from that, you've got the Bicentenary coming up next year, and you've also got World Expo coming up next year, and people are saving their coin for that. We're in a bit of a sponsorship black hole at the moment, but there's still good prospects, and most of the clubs are now tied up, as you've noticed during the week. And as I said, I think we'll be able to make an announcement tomorrow.
Why do you need one overall sponsor? Look at the Australian Masters Golf, who have used 6 sponsors, don't give the event to a sponsor to put their name to. The VFL hasn't done that in the past. Why do you want one sponsor in particular?
We don't necessarily, and maybe the announcement tomorrow will show that that's not necessarily a prerequisite.
Salary caps, boss. How far can you go towards proving that clubs are sticking to it? I'm not confident they are, by the way.
Yeah. Well, really, I think the salary cap has worked particularly well this year, Ron. I think it's working probably to about 95, 96%, and if you can do that, I think it's going to be very successful. What we've seen is...
I'll agree it's a vast improvement, but wait till they start getting money again.
when will that be?
Well, it's going to be in, say, 3 or 4 years' time.
Yeah. Well,
why don't you fine-tune the rules now?
Well, we are looking at fine-tuning the rules, actually. In fact, there's quite an exercise going on at the moment in fine-tuning the rules. But I think the salary cap has worked this year. It certainly has put a lot of pressure on clubs to think long and hard about what they pay their players, and some clubs have had to get rid of players in order to put others on their list, which tends to provide players for the weaker sides, which I think overall for the competition is a good thing. And I think we're going to see a more even competition this year. It's already been demonstrated with Geelong and Melbourne playing a lot better, and I think St Kilda will perform a little better too with the players they have now got.